Hey guys, how you all doing today? So today's interview is a really important one. It's simply about what is happening on the market and where do you store your cryptocurrency safely. So for that, we're going to be talking to Paul Puey. Now, Paul is the CEO of a crypto platform, Edge. So let's ask Paul all the questions we need to figure out these things out. Hey Paul, how you doing today?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on the show. Super appreciate it.
Yeah, we're really glad to have you on. We're here to talk about Edge. I guess I should say that Edge is not just any kind of crypto wallet. So I was hoping you could tell us about it and what really makes you guys special.
Yeah, so Edge really tries to focus on making key management, private key security, management, backup, all of that aspect that most people are not used to having to deal with when dealing with a mobile app for money. We try to make that as easy as possible and familiar. That's kind of our key differentiator. Of course, there's other subtle differentiators like the user experience. We think we've got a pretty good one. You know, the different list of assets that we support and other pieces of functionality. It is all non-custodial, so that's actually a very key thing that's very important to us.
And regarding purchase, sale of assets, do you guys make transactions through exchanges? I'm just really curious how the exchanges work, whether there's commissions or anything special like that.
Oh, absolutely. So we do definitely have a business model. We are a for-profit company. You know, we're building tools that people can use, but we can also sustain and support people long-term on our business model. So inside of Edge, you'll notice you'll have different options for being able to easily convert crypto to crypto. And those use some instant exchange services such as Shapeshift, Changely, Change Now, and soon you'll see a couple other options as well in there. And the app will actually automatically hunt for the exchange that can supply the currency pair that you're asking for to do the swap, and at the volume that you're asking for, because some exchanges have minimums, some have maximums, and so it'll find the best one that fits that volume that you want, as well as it'll actually just find best price. You know, it'll actually push out an order to multiple instant exchange services and receive the orders back and pick the one that gives you the best price, all from within your phone. And that doesn't use Edge servers. That's all at the edge of the network, on your phone, on the device, getting sent out to all of these instant exchange services. And in addition to that, Edge also accesses fiat to crypto exchanges.
Okay. And we've noticed when it comes to wallets and things like this, people that are new to crypto find it a bit intimidating. And in fact, a lot of them kind of stay away from it. If you were going to break this down for someone that was looking to get into this for the very first time, how would you explain where their crypto is stored and how much safer it is to store it that way versus other options?
Yeah, so this is kind of a rewind as to what does it even mean to store crypto? And so the best, most accurate but understandable way to describe this is that crypto isn't technically stored. Instead, there's a key that allows you to spend your crypto. It simply lets you spend your cryptocurrency. Now, whoever has that key can spend your cryptocurrency. Whether you have it, someone else has it, if they have it, they can spend all of your cryptocurrency, remove it, and put it into their own wallet. So where you put that key, it's called a private key, pretty much determines its kind of security model. And it's something that you both can't lose. If you lose it, then your crypto just effectively isn't spendable by anybody. Or if it's stolen, then somebody then can spend it. And that's kind of the challenge of the security of cryptocurrency. Because if you think about it, if you take something, you hide it so well that no one else will steal it, very high likelihood that you hide it from yourself and that you effectively just lose it. And while our industry is really good at highlighting that there's cryptocurrency that gets lost and stolen, they're not as good about highlighting the fact that it's actually people making their own errors and losing cryptocurrency that's the cause of the most cryptocurrency loss. And it's actually less on the theft side and more on the human error side. And this is the problem that we're trying to solve at Edge, is that we want to make human error much less common by making a very forgiving interface, a familiar interface, but also one that still protects against attack.
And kind of touching on what you mentioned before was there's human error, but when it comes to hackers, I believe in 2018, they stole about 867 million from exchanges of wallets, which is 50% more than the previous years. Why do you think hackers are becoming more active? Is it that crypto services aren't paying sufficient attention to security, or is it just the inevitability of it? If it can be hacked, it will be hacked. And with popularization of it growing every year.
So I don't subscribe to the term if it can be hacked, it will be hacked. If the financial reward from hacking significantly exceeds the financial work involved to hack a service, then yes, it will be hacked. And if you look at all of the publications of hacks occurring, almost no wallets are getting hacked. Banks are getting hacked. So everywhere from the recent hacks of exchanges and potential hacks of exchanges like Quadriga, no one knows if it was a hack or if a user disappeared, just a loss of funds. There's a significant amount of centralization of value in one place. And so now, for an attacker, for them, it might be hard for them to get in, and it might cost them, even $1 million worth of effort of bribing people and getting high-speed connections and heavy equipment to brute force their way in. All of the things that they need to do. It might be very expensive, but the value inside that one central trove, that honeypot, far exceeds the effort involved. Then yes, it's going to be hacked. So that's an important piece to distinguish. And to kind of answer your original question, which was kind of went in a full circle, I believe it was something about the concern of hacking in general and wallets being hacked and exchanges being hacked. I think it goes down twofold. Two primary reasons why people lose money is the money is in a centralized source, centralized holding, a custodian. That's a big reason. But as well, people kind of mess it up themselves. They lose the backup, they don't write down the backup, and then there goes the money. And so we're trying to solve both.
Well, if I could kind of take our focus from that to the market. So last year and the year before, the bears were dominant in the market. And according to CoinGecko report, total market cap in crypto fell by about 78%. So the coin's losing from about 70 to 90% value. I think everyone at this point is aware that this was a crash. It happened. What do you personally feel about that bubble? Is it going to continue to burst? Are we where we're at for a while now? What do you see going into the next year?
It can kind of go either way. I mean, there's always potential for another 10, 20, 30% drop. I don't want to claim any kind of financial advice, but if history repeats itself, typically people are getting in not for a 10, 20%, 30% gain. They're getting in for a 10, 20x gain. And so this is about as good of a time as any for people that have been waiting on the sidelines to enter. It's definitely one that if I had some spare funds, I would be entering at this point in time with the expectation that I might still, lose another 20, 30%, but with incredibly great dip lows that prepare for the next 3 to 4 years. And so and this applies not just to like cryptocurrency, the coins, the tokens and whatnot, but also for people in the industry that are maybe funds and investors. There's companies and projects as well as coins and tokens that are kind of on discount right now. And a great time to enter the space.
Cool, that's very good. All right, so Paul, the last thing I want to do with you is ask a few questions from our fans that are some in the comments.
Sure.
So our first question is from Elena S. She said, Paul, can you please name the features of your wallet which distinguish you from your competitors' things? And I know we touched upon that earlier on, but is there anything truly that stands out, I guess, what she's looking for?
The two things that I really like about the application, I want to pick 3 things. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Hopefully, Elena, that's okay. I'll pick 3 things. Number 1, the key management. And I went over that. We've all gone over that a bunch of times. The fact that you just use a simple username and password to create an account and log in, and that encrypts your keys. It even has password recovery capability that you can set up, and invisible 2-factor. So just the account management is super unique. There's just no other wallet that has that, no doubt about it. Second, because we actually encrypt and backup keys, we can actually encrypt and backup other data. So the app lets you tag transactions. This is also fairly unique inside of Edge. So I can say, hey, this payment was to pay for a conference, to pay for a cup of coffee, and it was my buddy Mike that sent me, $10. I can tag all that information inside of Edge, and that actually gets encrypted and backed up. I can log in on another phone, that gets downloaded, decrypted, and I can see all of that kind of metadata of a transaction. That in and of itself is really unique. And I've never seen that in any other app. And then third is the way we integrate exchanges, especially the crypto to crypto exchanges. And this is, I think, something we talked about earlier. So those are kind of 3 main features: key management, how we deal with key management, making that super simple and forgiving to the users. Second, metadata, super unique. We're the only wallet that I've seen that lets you do this. Synchronized, encrypted between your devices. And then 3, the way we integrate the exchanges, really make it simple for you to find the best crypto to crypto pair exchange price that you want.
Our next question is from Vitalik Scam. So he says, so JP Morgan said that BTC will drop to 1600 and below in the near future. When will we be personally, what will he be personally doing in this situation? And what will happen with Edge?
Got it. So if we drop to 1600, actually we noticed that Edge gets actually more exchange volume at times of volatility. It doesn't really matter if price is going up or going down. And so what will happen is we'll probably see more exchange volume if the price goes down. More people may be hedging into a stable coin like DAI or buying crypto using one of our partners like Wire. That's probably what we're going to see in Edge actually as the price goes down. What will JP Morgan be doing? Almost certainly he's buying Bitcoin. It's already been proven. People know that
Yes.
JP Morgan was buying Bitcoin like almost immediately after he said he would fire anybody in the company that did so. And so it's one of these things. He'll get the big press for shitting on Bitcoin, but none of the big press is going to mention how he actually bought tons of Bitcoin and influenced the market.
And on that note, Paul, thank you. That's all I really have for you. Our viewers really appreciate your time.
No, thanks a whole lot for having me. Super appreciate the coverage.
So, what'd you guys think of that interview? I hope if nothing else, you've learned how to pick up, a secure, simple wallet. And remember, there are so many more interviews coming, so do not fret, do not be sad. There's so much more on the way, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and thank you for watching Nakamoto Jedi.